Good morning, children. Next topic we are going to discuss is pronunciation basics. So, if we do not say words correctly, others cannot understand what we are saying, as in the example given in this figure. So, how far is the is station? So, this boy is asking how far is the station? How far is the station? So she is not able to understand what he is pronouncing. So the station, the place from where we get a train. So the girl understood, oh, the station. So the station is just 5 minutes away. Keep walking straight and you will find it. So this is what happens when if somebody pronounces it with without without with without any proper pronunciation. So in this example we have seen how a pronunciation affects the communication. So to communicate well, when you speak you need to know how to pronounce words correctly. So correct pronunciation will help you to express yourself in a clear and confident manner. So it will also help others to understand your words easily. So speaking correctly. Say the following words aloud. Ask your teacher and friends if you pronounced them correctly. So your, world, chair, where. So also try saying these words aloud like sun, sun, sail, sail, tail, tail. So what did you notice? Sometimes words which have similar spellings are pronounced differently, and sometimes words which have different spellings may be pronounced in same way. So the best way to learn correct pronunciation of words is to listen carefully. That is phonetics. So have you heard the word phonetics? So how do we pronounce words? So we use sounds to speak. Every word is made up of one or more sounds. So we put these sounds together to pronounce words. So phonetics is the study of sounds that we make when we speak. For example, the word dog is made of three sounds put together. That is do, d, u, g. Dog. Speak the word aloud as shown in Hindi to help you pronounce it correctly. So, d, o, g, dog. So the cat is made of three other sounds like cat to pronounce it as cat, cat. Then the English alphabet has 26 letters from A to Z, but each of these letters can be pronounced in different ways in different words. So we use 26 letters to write in English, but we use more than 26 sounds when we speak in English. So this is why a word spelling does not always match its pronunciation. So let us take the letter A, for example, read the words aloud. The alphabet A is pronounced differently. So consider this example. We pronounce it as cat, apple, back. So its pronunciation is given as A. As A, Hindi letter A. So we pronounce cat as cat. Then apple as apple, then back as bike, bike. You can see I. So bike. Then car. So we use this for its pronunciation. So car, fast, park, So the same A is in first example it is used as A, apple. So in second example it is used as A, that is car, fast, park. Then let us see in second example, that is call, ball, so. So different same letter is different used in different for in different words it is used, it is pronounced differently. So pay attention to the sounds of each word while listening and you will be able to pronounce it clearly. So what are different types of sounds? So let us see what are the different sounds in English. They are vowels, diphthongs, that is combination sounds of two vowels, then consonants. So the 5 vowels that you know, A, E, I, O, U, but 12 vowel sounds. So this means most vowel can be pronounced in different ways. So we make a vowel sound when we read a vowel in a word. Like for example, we pronounce the letter I in the word bit by using a vowel sound. That is like in Hindi, bit. So So we say the word bit around and listen to how you are saying the vowel sound, bit. So next type of sound is diphthongs, that is combination of two vowels. So we make a diphthong sound when we combine two vowels. So diphthongs start as one vowel sound and go to another. For example, the sound in the word in sound OU in the OU and in the word house OU. So it has a combination of two vowels. So is called diphthong is a combination of two vowels. That is house, sound. So it starts with one vowel and ends in another vowel. Then say the word house aloud and listen to how you are saying the diphthong. Then next is consonant. So consonant sound is any sound that is neither a vowel nor a diphthong sound. For example, we use consonant sounds to say the letter P and T in the word pot in Hindi as pat. So we should not pronounce it as pot, but we should pronounce it as pat. So say the word pot aloud and listen to how you are saying the consonant sounds. Part. So some examples are given. Say these words aloud. Listen carefully when others say these words and repeat what you hear. So there are sounds like long E sounds, like E, like example sleep, keep, feel. So E. So E sound here. Next, only short E, that is I, that is slip, dip, fill. Then U sound, that is short U sound. Book, put, foot, not food, foot. Then long U sound, that is long U sound. For that we use oo. Boot, group, two. Next, EA sound, that is a combination of diphthongs, that is EA sound. EA, near, dear, here. Then A sound, A, that is late, cake, game. Then OA sound, that is bought, boat, that is OA sound, O combination of vowels ONE. Boat, loan, most. Then ow sound, OU. Mouth, cow, loud, cloud, etc. Next, per sound, consonant. Pen, report, stop. Then ter sound, that is train, story, put. Then ker sound, book, cold, music. Then l sound, l, look, place, school. So, what is phonetics? It is the study of how we write the words in English, or it is the study of how people understand sentence, and it is the study of how many words the English language has, or it is the study of sounds we make when we speak. So the answer is, it is the study of sounds when we speak. What are the different types of sounds used in English? So in English, vowel sound is there, diphthong sound is there, consonant sound is there. That is all of the above. Then, and introductions. So we use certain words called greetings before we start talking to our friends, people familiar to us, or people whom we are meeting for the first time. So also we use certain sentences to tell about ourselves to others, to people who do not know us. So this is called an introduction. So what are greetings? So there are many ways to greet a person. The greetings and reply to a greeting at work is different from the greeting and reply given to a friend. Similarly, there are many ways to say goodbye when you depart. The greetings change depending upon who are we talking to, and even according to the time of the day. So greetings help us start a conversation nicely. So, what are the types of greetings? There are two ways of greetings. They are formal greetings and informal greetings. So, formal greetings are used if you do not know the person. It is used to greet senior, elderly people, or people with whom we have formal relations like teachers or customers. So, this is used more often in schools, colleges, offices, etc. So, like hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, that is an example of formal. And informal greetings are hi, what's up, hey, what's going on. So, these are informal greetings. So, let us see what are the greetings and its reply. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, ma'am. Then, good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Hello, sir. How are you? Very well, thank you. How are you? Then, how are you, Tina? I am doing well. How are you, sir? So, these are certain greetings and its reply. Let us see what are informal greetings. So, informal greetings are used when you talk to friends, family, or a known person. Say out loud the informal greetings. They are hey, hello, or he. Hey, how are you doing? He, I am doing great. Or he, good to meet you. So, we can also greet people according to time of the day, like good afternoon, good evening. So 11:59 a.m. till 11:59 a.m. we can say good morning. Okay, till 11:59 a.m. we can say good morning, and from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. good afternoon, till 5 p.m. good afternoon. Then 5 p.m. to midnight good evening. So we usually do not greet people by saying good night even if it is night. So we say good night at the end of the conversation. So good night is used till midnight. We used to give good evening, and after midnight, when you are going to sleep, only after end of the conversation only you will be saying good night. So how to introduce yourself and others? So when you are meeting someone for the first time, or if others want to know about you, you need to introduce yourself. So you can do this by telling your name and some general informations like about your hometown, your job, or subjects as a student, your interest, etc. So when introducing yourself, remember to look at the other person and smile. Some examples are: I am Aman. I am Rahul from Agra. My name is Tina. I am in class 8. He, I am Anu. I like cricket. So we can introduce someone to others by telling their name, what they do, how we know them, or even by describing something interesting about them. So you can introduce like this: this is my friend Sonu. We study in the same class. She is a good singer. So like way you can introduce. So you say good morning when it is, from morning to 11:55 a.m. So all ABC are correct. So you may say hi when you meet your teacher in a class, senior in the office, your principal, or your friends at a shop. So your friends at shop. Then you say good afternoon when it is 1 p.m. Then you say good evening when it is 7 p.m. So write 2 or 3 lines you would use to introduce yourself. So what you will introduce yourself. The next is talking about self. So you may need to talk about yourself on many occasions, especially when you meet new people. So you may also need to fill forms with information about yourself. In this session, we will learn to describe ourselves. So talking about yourself, that is, my name is this, I'm studying in this class and I like history, I don't like maths. So what all things you like about, you have to tell about yourself. So when you meet someone for the first time, they want to know more about you. So you will have to introduce yourself, telling about yourself. So you usually start by telling your name. Then you can talk about other things such as what you do, your age, where you live, or even about the things or activities that you like. For all these sentences, you will use nouns and verbs. So you know, a noun is a naming word that is used as a person, place, thing, or idea names. Then verbs are words that perform some actions like play, like, eat, write, etc. So we can talk about likes and dislikes using nouns as well as verbs that end with ing. For example, cycling, swimming, etc. So talking about yourself, first you have to say your name, like I am Harish Sethi. What you do, I am in high school. Then age, I am this much age, 15 years old. I stay in Agra. I like playing chess. I dislike summers. I can write stories very well. I leave task incomplete. So weakness is you should say about your likes, dislikes, strength, weakness. So strength is, you can see certain examples, that is, name is my name is Anu. What they do, I am a student. Age, I am 16 years old. Hometown, I live in Mumbai. Dislikes, I like swimming. Dislikes, I don't like dolls. Then strength, I am a good public speaker. Then weakness, I get angry easily. So you can say about all these. Then next is form filling. Sometimes instead of talking, you will have to write about yourself in a form. Each form is different, so you should read it properly before filling. So write neatly, taking care to use the correct spelling. Form usually has the following fields for personal information. Suppose you have to fill a form, so it will have a name column. Here you have to enter your name. Sometimes you may need to write your first name, middle name and surname. Then date of birth, where you have to enter your date of birth. It is usually written as the day followed by month followed by year. Then address, this is the postal address, which includes your house number and the details of the street, area and the city. Then pin code, this is a group of numbers used by the post office to identify a region, and it is important part of an address. Then signature, this is your name or initials written by hand in a specific way. Then next example, Harish Sethi was born on 5th December 1999. He lives in Agra in a house named Shuk Niwas. His house number is 13 in Rajanagar. His postal code is this. And Harish filled a form asking for personal information like this. So first name is Harish, last name Sethi, date of birth 5 December 1999, that is 5/12/1999. Or address he has given like this, and pin code. Use the following words to complete the form given below. Suppose football and swimming, 7 years old, Hassan Yasin in Bangalore. So these are the options and you have to fill it. So my name is, either you can write Yasmin Hassan, or Yasmin is the name. So my first name is Yasmin, my surname is Hassan, I am 7 years old, I live in Bangalore, I like football and swimming. Then next, what is a code? Is a group of numbers or letters used to identify a government building. A code used to indicate the door number of a house. A group of numbers to letter used by the post office to identify a region. A code used to identify different post offices. So postal code is a code used to identify different post offices. Next is asking questions. Asking questions. So are you sometimes scared of asking too many questions as shown? Sir, which book should I read? I don't know how to solve these problems. I can't understand whom should I ask. How will I complete this work? So how asking questions? So what happened if you do not ask questions at right time? Why do we need to ask questions? So in this session we will learn about the importance of asking questions. So need for asking questions. A question is a request for information as shown in figure, and it could be any type of information such as the answer to questions in the textbook, information about a person or a place, or about how to do a task. So where will I find the answer to question 2? Read the 4th lesson from your English textbook. So asking questions help you to gain new knowledge, get information, make sure that what we know is correct, avoid doubts, confusion, misunderstanding, and start talking to people by asking about them and their ideas. So how to make sure we have complete information? So if we do not have complete information, if you do not know a place, how to do your homework, you will not be able to complete it unless you ask questions and get information. So asking all the correct questions at the right time is also important. You can also follow the simple method of 5W1H to make sure that you have all the informations you will need for a particular work. That is 5W means who, where, when, what, why, and 1H, that is how. So who is used to ask about people, who is the new student in this class. Then where is used to ask about a place, where does she live. Then when is used to ask about time, that is when did she join school, when did you come. So what is used to ask about a thing, an idea, or an action. So what is her favorite subject, what are you doing. Then why is used to find the reason. So why is she not talking to anyone in the class. Then how is used to find the method. How can I help her make friends? So multiple choice questions. Raju is the class monitor. He wants to know why Ramesh is coming late every day. Which of the following is questions that Raju can ask Ramesh? Do you come on time? Are you late? Why are you late every day? Will it not be easier to complete your work if you come on time? So what will be the answer? Yes, why are you late every day? Because he want to know the reason why he is always late. Then, if you have not understood this one, if you have not understood a task given to you, which question should you ask? If you have not understood a task you have given to you, so where are the reports of the task? Can you repeat the instructions for this task, or can you give me an example of this task? Why are you doing this task? So how you will ask? If you do not understand, so if you do not understand, you can ask, can you repeat the instructions, or can you give me an example of this task? You can ask, can you give me an example of this task, so you can understand it easily. So next, Sheila does not have time to so she decided to delay a task. Which question should she ask? He asked before ignoring the task. Sheila does not have time, so she decided to delay a task. So, what is this task? When she can cook dinner? Can she cook dinner? They cook dinner. Do they cook dinner? So, framing closed ended questions. In some cases, we exchange the position of the subject and the verb to create a closed ended question. So, we can follow a similar method for sentences that already have auxiliary verbs. So, read aloud the other examples. So, here he is there. Is he there? They were cleaning their room. Were they cleaning their room? You can help me. Can you help me? Framing open-ended questions. So open-ended questions, we have to use what, who, why, when, where, how. So open-ended questions: what did you do? I went to the park. So why did you go there? I went to meet my friend. How did you go? I cycled. So what are closed-ended questions? So closed questions that have many answers or that do not have answer, questions with yes or no answer, and questions that have many answers. So questions that can have many answers, that can have many answers, are the open-ended questions. Then which of these are open-ended questions? Where do you live? Are you hungry? How do you feel? Did you meet him? So which are open-ended questions? Option A is an open-ended and option C is also open-ended. Then which of these are question words? So what, want, which, how. Which of these are question words? What is a question word? Which is a question word? How is also a question word. Want is not a question word. So which of these is the correct way to convert the sentence you are studying into a question? So we can exchange the words you and are. So it becomes, are you studying? So it becomes a question. Are you studying? So make short answers. So make a note of 5 questions your friend asked you. How many were open-ended questions? And make a list of 5 closed-ended questions you asked other people in one day. So children, thank you. This chapter is over. Completed. Is this task important or no need to ask a question? So what she will ask, when does this task need to be completed? Then Renuka is joining a new school. Which of the following questions will help her become comfortable with her new classmate? How long have you been studying here? Would you like to share my lunch? What do you all do in your free time? All the options are correct. All the options are correct. Then next, rearrange the words to form questions. So she likes singing, does too. Does she like to sing? Then, waiting, what are you for? What are you waiting for? Then, play like football, do. You too. So, do you like to play football? Then, fighting, they are why. So, why are they fighting? Next is asking questions too. So, a question is a sentence, phrase, a word that either asks for information or is used to test someone's knowledge. So, we always use a question mark at the end of a question. So, in our day to day interactions with other, we often have to answer questions to get information. So, asking the correct question can help us to get the information we want. So, types of questions are, there are two basic types of questions, they are closed ended and open ended. So, questions that are answered with yes or no are called closed ended. So, this is because the answer options are limited or closed. For example, do you have a TV at home? The answer could be either yes or no. Sometimes, when we ask a question, we expect the answer with more detail. What do you like to watch on TV? The answer could be I like to watch movies. They are open ended questions because their answer options are not limited or closed. So, in this case, the person could have also said sports, news, anything else. So, framing or forming questions. So, framing closed ended questions, we can form closed ended questions by adding helping verbs like do, be, and have. These convey additional information such as time and mood. So, besides these, there are other auxiliary verbs like modal verbs such as can, shall, may, should, could, which show possibility or necessity. So, one method of framing close ended questions is to take a sentence without the above word and place such words before the subject. For example, the sentence I like it can be changed into close ended questions by adding the word do before the subject I. So it becomes, do I like it? So they talk on the phone every day. So it can be converted into closed ended as, do they talk on the phone every day? Then you share your lunch with your friends. So you can ask, could you share your lunch with your friends? So please note, the helping verb changes based on the subject, but the main verb remains unchanged. For example, in the sentences, the question below, the main verb remains unchanged, but the auxiliary verb changes based on the subject. So, closed ended questions can be created after adding helping verbs like to. So, I cook dinner, then it can be do.